Okay. Let's see if anybody comes to this. This 1 minute kind of needed to create a short. Okay. What's this? Retouch off. Touch on. Oh, I like that. Wait, no. No, we don't want any of that. Okay. I'm going to see if anybody comes. I've never done a live on YouTube before, but I love to chat. So I thought I'd give it a try. But I don't have many people on YouTube. I got tapped on TikTok before. Just starting on YouTube. But I don't have many people on YouTube, so I don't know if anybody's going to come anyway. But thought I'd give it a try. Isn't scheduled till 8 o'clock. So, I don't know. We'll see if anybody comes. So I will wait until then. Let's see what other issues we have, because I've never done this before. What does that one do? No, I don't like green screens. No, don't get away with green screens. How do I get rid of the green screen? No green screen. I don't do green screens. What does that do? Lighting. I already have lighting. Thanks so much. No lighting needed. Let's see if anybody comes to my live. It doesn't start till 8, so I will sit here and talk for a while about my amazing story like none other on the planet. Curious, yep. I recovered from disabling tardive dyskinesia after 20 years without adjuncts. Nobody does that, or at least we finally found somebody else on TikTok. Oops. Hoping somebody shows. If not, no, I'll do it again. But I don't have many people on YouTube, so we'll see. Oh, good if no one shows. I don't know. I didn't schedule till 8, so I'm kind of early because I'm always early for everything. But, been a really good day. I learned how not to scream, I think. I just scream like the Jesus. Updates on that tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know. There's hearts coming out. Does that mean? Oh, there's people here. Hi. Say hi. Hi. Wait, okay. Hi, how you doing? So yeah, I love to chat. Ask me whatever. No, I'll do my spiel at 8 o'clock. So hi. No, I'm not really sure how to send things on YouTube. This is my first live on YouTube. Ask me whatever. I love to chat. You're well, thank you. I'm doing really well today, thanks. I'll do my spiel at 8. Today's been a fantastic day, actually. Things went really well. I've now exercised for a whole hour in the morning, getting back in shape at 48. It's freezing cold. Well, it's not that freezing cold. I'm in Arlington right now. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. So yeah, I have a one in the universe life story if you've been following me, or whatever it's called on YouTube. I'm getting my terminology right in social media. But this is my first live on YouTube. So, I've gotten top spot on lives on TikTok. It's an attorney. What am I doing? Getting top lives on TikTok. Hey, you're from Ohio. I'm from New Jersey. Well, actually, I was born in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So I think I figured out how not to involuntarily scream. So that was a big victory today. Hopefully it works for you. Thanks for being happy for me. Yeah, let's chat. Whatever you like to ask, I will do my spiel, my intro spiel starting at 8 o'clock when this is actually scheduled for. I got my seltzer here because I have MCAS, and there's my MCAS isn't severe, but citrus. And yeah, I'm happy for myself too. I'm proud of myself because I'm doing really well. And I'm proud of my daughter too, because she's doing really well when, I believe we're in Traumaville and she's not so certain. What do you like to do for her? What do you like to do for? Can you clarify that? I'm not, for fun. When I finished my bad paper, my daughter and I were doing all the things I couldn't for a long time. We ice skated, rock climbed, We zip lined. We did high ropes courses. We skied. I like to play the piano. I like to sing. I like to dance. I did ballet. But then, I went into benzo withdrawal, and, I became much more disabled. And, now I'm regaining my strength. But I was pretty weak for a while. I have been wheelchair transport because I had just because I couldn't walk to the gate and back. I broke my foot in June. So that kind of was a bummer. You need a piano lesson? Yeah, I'm not that good at piano. I was really good at the bassoon. I played the bassoon. I was in the Philadelphia Youth Orchestra. The second to me went to Juilliard. So I wanted to be a professional bassoonist. That's what got me into Stanford, mostly. Because, I graduated Stanford with distinction. So I have a story like none other. And it's sad, but it's inspirational also. It's more inspirational than anything, because I'm going to get through this because I have the best of the best support in withdrawal. But I knew absolutely nothing about the dangers of psychiatric medications until I went into withdrawal. And what are you going to do as an attorney in withdrawal? Do a giant social media slam. And I am enjoying it like the bejesus. This is my purpose and intention in life. Social media blitz. So in 3 minutes, I'll do my intro. If you have any other questions, I love to chat. Keep me busy. I have advertised for social interaction on my local mama site in Metuchen. But yeah, so today, I'm learning to cook. I was literally unable, I didn't know anything about cooking. Your name is Mike Hunt. Hi, even though your screen name is something very different. I go under my real name on all platforms. I post public, I'm soon gonna do a live on LinkedIn, but I've done lives on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So this is my first live on YouTube. So welcome to my live with Ellen for my amazing life story. I'm like none other on the planet. So, I will do my little chat in 2 minutes. What does the cooking? So, I didn't know cooking at all. I'm getting into ketosis. Actually, I'm already in ketosis, which makes dose cutting a lot easier apparently to get me off benzos. Do you have pockets in the back of your pants? Right now I'm wearing leggings, so I don't have pockets right now. No, pockets are great for tissues, but I'm not wearing I have a shirt was exercising earlier today, so I put on a nicer shirt over it. I don't know. I put on a nicer shirt for a live because I didn't want to look like I just come from the gym. Can you see? Can you see my leggings? Yeah, we're talking kind of, junky leggings, but, I thought I'd put on a nice top to go with it for a live and look a little bit professional. It doesn't exactly match. Who cooks for you? Oh, I'm learning to cook for myself. I had Hungry Root when I was in Metuchen. I probably will go back to Hungry Root, but part of the program I'm in Arlington, which is kind of like an IOP, but no, it's it's basically just me at the moment. It's really great. I could not cook cocaine. That's really absurd. I have never taken drugs at all of any kind. I haven't smoked a cigarette, never been drunk. But I am in benzo withdrawal, and it's not nearly as bad as people suffering on TikTok. No, I'm not vegan. Actually, so a keto diet, ketosis involves high fats and low carbs. So there's a lot of meat and nuts and eggs. So it's very, very far from vegan. Okay, so I'll do my little spiel. So yeah, I'm Ellen. I have a one in the universe life story. I had disabling tardive dyskinesia for 20 years, which is a side effect of antipsychotics. I had cognitive deficits. My IQ literally went down from 153 to 127 on antipsychotics. my personality changed. I've now lost more than the entirety of my finances for medical care. I mean, I was at 105 as an attorney. So I have suffered vastly due to psychiatric medications. I am now in protracted withdrawal from antipsychotics for over 3 years, and I am now in benzodiazepine withdrawal, if I'm getting my terminology correctly. I'm learning my terminology here. I have severe concentration issues. Like my child and I went to Wicked, and I could not follow what was going on. So yeah, I have no ability to work right now because I can't drive, for more than a little bit in the morning. I was on short-term disability, but I don't think I can get SSI money. So my family is in this together, and my parents are helping me out because that's what families do. Many people in withdrawal go to seizures. Many people go to psychosis because I have the best medical care. I know I will not get there. I also scream, and I think I may have found a solution to that today, which is a wonderful thing for me. And I'm super excited about that. But I will be setting up a charity because nothing is covered in withdrawal, virtually nothing. So what other, you don't care? Well, that's nice. If you don't care, then, don't stick around. Let's see. I love to chat. A lot of things went down. Learn screaming and pillows help. Okay, so that was suggested to me. But the thing about screaming into pillows is you kind of suffocate yourself. So when I try to not scream, I choke. But today I tried just screaming like the bejesus, and it relaxed me. So that was really exciting. So I think I'm just gonna scream like the bejesus for a while and get it out of me, and hopefully it ends, because this is, my doctor's seen it twice in a psych hospital. The head of the program I'm in now has never heard of it. It's kind of like a tick or something. But I'm really, really hoping that this goes away and this works. But we'll see. It's really bizarre. I am scared at the end of my taper because it's the most medically dangerous and why I had to go away. That's awesome. Sometime for you should show it. You should show it. Yeah, I mean, I think tomorrow there's going to be a real on the fact that I've been overly optimistic in the past that screaming has stopped, but I think that this, over time, if I just scream like half an hour a day, I can't scream too much or my vocal cords are going to, go. But, I am going to get through this and come out on the other side because I have the best of the best support. I've had an in-home aide for most of the last, since July. So in July, I went on a maniacal trip to Costa Rica in July, where I lay there for days, not thinking I would get out alive or dead. And my doctor saved my life by talking to me openly about death. And anybody I've told has said, yeah, I'd get there too, because I didn't think I'd get out alive or dead. At that point, screens saved my life. Now I don't use screens as much, but it was the right thing to do to let me go to Costa Rica, because I came back with an aide because I knew that I needed help at that point. I recognized it. That's awesome. Sometime you should show it. Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've screened once into a video, into a reel. It's beyond bizarre. I don't even know, what it is. It's, like, just spontaneous, I don't know that it's coming, but hopefully I've been over optimistic about these things in the past. I have something called a PEMF mat that I thought was helping me stop screaming. But when I do 4x4 breaths, like in breaths, hold them, and then out breaths, then I scream on the out breath and I scream when I sleep. So I am still on 5.06 milligrams liquid Valium, and I'm on baclofen, which is a muscle relaxant we use to get me off benzos. So I'm at 12 milligrams baclofen, and I crush it up into tablets. I mean, little powder stuff, so that I can take it. And I'm on 150 milligrams lithium, which is non-therapeutic dose. But I was in the ER because we did a big dose of lithium, because I'm getting off all psych meds. There's no way I'm ever going to stay physically dependent on psych meds. For me, it's no way. For other people, I believe in informed consent. If you know what you're getting yourself into, then I'm good with that. But I had no clue what I was getting myself into. So, for me and my child and I, let's use proper grammar here. It's a no way. Because I've suffered vastly because of them. But I have a story that will inspire other people, I believe. Because I didn't know jack shit as an attorney at the SSI project at Legal Services. Your story is fascinating. Meds have to be crazy. They are crazy. I had no idea. Ask me whatever. So right, I had to tell people to take benzodiazepines in exchange for under $300 a month, psych meds from welfare. And I'm choosing my words carefully here because I have been legally threatened. Cease and desist letters from Legal Services. And I firmly believe that my funding was my pay was from welfare. And that much of what they did, I firmly believe, was because of funding from welfare. And they're monitoring my socials. Socials have given me powers. They have removed, Legal Services has removed all of their social media reels on the SSI project. So I firmly believe that the director of the SSI project did not even know what tardive dyskinesia was. And we worked 70-80% with mental health cases. And the holistic health system is awful. I mean, the Social Security disability system is awful because if you use holistic means to heal, like using ice packs or breathing through panic attacks, you generally will not get benefits. How is your child? How old is she? She's 11. She's doing fabulously. I've discussed her boundaries with her. She's getting straight A's in all honors, in all highest level classes. She dances, all the time. She just danced in Nutcracker, and I was there for 2 performances. Because yes, I am a blasted good mother, which is something I have never doubted for an instant. And I was, I flew back for Nutcracker so I could be there for her. But I've been I became a profound insomniac on the last night of my bad taper from clozapine. And yes, I reported Dr. Claudia Baldessano, who almost double prescribed antipsychotics so that I would avoid then mandatory neutropenia tests or blood cell tests. She failed to do regular lithium level tests. She failed to do thyroid level checks when I took Synthroid, so she endangered my life. So yes, I reported her, but I will not go to suit because it would mean degradation of my character and the rest of my life at suit, as I stated at Chief Justice Rabner's party, who was a serious prospect for the Supreme Court, and I clerked for him. Of course, it's an easy way to control the narrative. I'm not sure what you mean by that. No, if you can clarify, I'd love to answer your questions. So when I clerked for the chief, how is your treatment center? So it's really great. It's one-on-one. I mean, I'm the only person there right now. So, they have a chef, and I'm learning to cook. They have a social worker who's absolutely wonderful. I have a personal trainer. There's a doctor. There is a nutritionist. I'm going to have gym passes. We do yoga. Now there's nobody else there, so I can stream without anybody else there. So yeah, no, I'm doing fabulously today. I'm walking again, and I'm going to get through this. It's been really tough, and at times, I've had, I'm spending, because I was at 105 as an attorney. So, as an attorney, I'm not rich. For other people, I'm blasted rich. And on TikTok, I'm rich beyond fascination. It's cool that he gave you a parking spot, but how did you drive when you were under the desk? So this was before. So I was physically disabled for 20 years. And, on psych meds, you can definitely drive. I was disabled, but I could drive perfectly well. He gave me his personal parking spot because I could not walk to the handicap spots. So when I did my bad taper, there was a period in which, I was not driving. And I have played it safe, and now, I drive, early in the mornings when I know that I can drive. But, disabled people can drive. There's no problems with that. Many people in wheelchairs can drive. Maybe I should stream yoga. I think I did a video of me doing crazy yoga stunts because, for a 48-year-old, I am fairly physically fit. I can still do wheels or bridges. My daughter can do, acro stunts with the best of them. But I'm learning about positive energy. How do you drive if you can't read or comprehend? No, we're not talking about that then. I could drive for 20 years when I could drive, the brief period when at the end of my bad taper, after my bad taper, that was a different, period in which I was not really driving, but I drove while I was on psych meds. When I was disabled, I could drive. Right, so you can drive, right? So, but not those was right. So I have, my cognitive function went down from a 153 IQ to a 127 IQ. You can still drive on that. I was not really driving when I was a profound insomniac for the brief period. I played it safe. And, I've had one car accident where somebody else hit me and I was determined to be, 0% at fault. So, my license has never been in jeopardy. There's been no points at all. Yeah, I know my timeline may well be confusing. Happy to clarify anything. But for 25 years when I was on psych meds, I was driving. When you're literally disabled, you can drive. It was the point you couldn't read right. So at that point, I was playing it safe and not driving. At that point, I asked whether benzodiazepines, probably I asked whether they were addictive and not physically dependent, and I was lied to. And I was not driving at that point because, had been an insomniac for a month and I was desperate beyond comprehension. I was asked and I was lied to. I was also told that high-dose benzos were no issues, no problems. And I was put up to up to 5 milligrams Ativan, which is frankly abusive. Yeah, it sucks. But, I'm going to get through this, marvelously because I have the best of the best support. And I still have the resources for that. Many people die of suicide in withdrawal because it destabilizes you when you've been on medications for that long. And withdrawal is 100% preventable, unlike something like cancer. So it's something, the chief is going to still be proud of me. I went and visited him recently. He was fabulous beyond comprehension. And you take Ativan that really works well for you, and you're an elite athlete, you understand the side effects. You know, if it works for you, I'm fine with that. You do have to know that if you want to get off of it, you have to do it slowly and very carefully, probably over years, and your tolerance goes quickly. I don't give medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but for benzos, if you're on them for 2 to 4 weeks, the warning is that physical dependency may set in. And I knew nothing about physical dependency when I was put on benzodiazepines. You've been on the same dose for 20 years. If it works for you, then that's great. It didn't work for me. That was the thing. It worked very briefly, and I was still an insomniac because I was put on them for insomnia in withdrawal. So they were not an appropriate treatment for me. So it works for you. If it works for you, I'm good with that. If you know what you're getting yourself into, then great. But I did not know what I was getting myself into because I asked and I was lied to. My body chemistry is wild. At this point when you're in withdrawal, I am extraordinarily sensitive to anything. We were debating whether I would take an emergency Dramamine on the plane. I had a bad reaction to antibiotics when I was in Sedona, which, I'm not supposed to take antibiotics for the next 2 years for more than like a day because I reacted so badly. I can't take anything, like barely anything in benzo withdrawal. They help you sleep. Cryptotherapy. You're allergic to a lot of antibiotics. I had no idea. They say 10 days. Most people say that that's an overreaction. That's really only 7 days you need. But no, I was in the ER 4 times in Arizona. It was nightmare land in Arizona. And I've been reassured it's not, the end of my taper is not going to be that bad. I've overreacted a couple times and thought that it's going to be horrific. But I've been reassured that it will not be nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I am scared because I know it's the most medically dangerous. And I will have an in-home aide and an Airbnb to finish it. And, I will have 2 doctors with eyes on. Cryptotherapy is a therapy where you're in extremely cold for a short amount of time. So it sounds kind of like, I've done cold plunges and stuff like that are helpful. I've done saunas, I've done, acupuncture, massages, all those things. When do you go back? It's a day program. So right now I'm taking lifts or getting rides from the employees. It's one-on-one. I'm the only person there now, but it's fabulous. I will go back in the morning. I get up early because I'm an insomniac. I've been, last night I got just over 2 hours of sleep with 0 REM. So I go on adrenaline a lot of the time, and I was going on adrenaline for a long time until I realized, I had to rest. I had to take care of myself because you have to show up for yourself before you can show up for anybody else. It's much cooler. We are we're talking negative temps. It's not that cold yet, but I'm scared. Arlington is going to get mighty cold in the winter. It is, I'm probably going to have to order earmuffs. And, I am considering, I'm using my portion of my inheritance that was already set aside for me before I went into withdrawal. So I'm using it for medical. And, I am not worrying too much about the money because there is enough there for me to keep my house. And for my, if I start worrying about money all the time right now, I am not going to get through this because I'm, trying to drop things and, not worry about little things. So you're talking about cryptotherapy. Yeah, I don't know too much about it. Oh, it's colder. We're talking negative temperatures. Negative temperatures like below zero. I don't really know much about it. I'll have to look it up. Like below 0 Fahrenheit or Celsius. I assume you're talking Celsius because below 0 Fahrenheit sounds mighty scary. I will look it up. It sounds very interesting. Below 0 Fahrenheit. Wow, that sounds like it freezes you to death. That sounds really scary. I mean, there's been really, at one point we were talking about cold turkeying me with ketamine and IVs and stuff, and I overreacted and went to ChatGPT once and thought we were going to put me like into an ICU coma. I mean, just get the shit out of me and end this taper, please. I want done with. It's been, I've been in protracted withdrawal for over 3 years, and I've suffered vastly, but not nearly as much as many people in withdrawal. And you have covers on my feet and hands? No, I really don't. I have nothing on my feet or my hands. I'm not sure what that comment came from. I am sitting here in my Airbnb. So no, I don't have covers on anything. Let's see what else, So what went down to start this jig? We firmly believe that I have Asperger's, high functioning autistic on the spectrum. Who really cares? I don't have that kind of support needs. You don't follow very well? Oh, you're talking about therapy. Covers on my feet. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. No. It's a little bit tough when you're trying to read the screen from a little bit far away. It's really cool. I looked up cryptotherapy. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Not trying to not understand things. I just, it's sometimes hard to follow the little tiny print when you're reading on a live. I will look it up. But no, we think I was misdiagnosed as being manic. There's a cryo. There's no Piatt's cryo. I will look up cryo. I mean, it sounds really interesting. It sounds a little bit scary, but no, I'll look it up. I am open to suggestions. I am working really hard to be okay. Nutrition, supplements, all that. But we think I was misdiagnosed as manic because I had had an autistic meltdown with high anxiety. I took one pill of Klonopin from somebody in college, and that started the whole jig. I was diagnosed as manic because I had one hospitalization at 21 for 1 week, which I had 4 day passes, which gets you labeled as manic for life under the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It's immutable and cannot be changed. So yeah, it's horrible that the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, I firmly believe, is a made-up piece of crap. Diagnoses for psych meds are meaningless to me. My doctor doesn't believe in mental illness at all. She believes in root causes and circumstances, as well as things like mold toxicity, environmental factors. I'm not certain about that completely, but I definitely believe that root causes cause depression, anxiety. If you're raped, then you might become depressed. I was mercilessly bullied, and that caused me to go into depression. I've done a lot of inner child recently, to forgive myself and figure out my suicide attempt at 16. Which is the doctor you work with that believes in crystals? Yes, she is. She is an actual medical doctor. She's a licensed doctor. Yes, she believes in crystals. I believe they're a placebo. I love her to death. She's fabulous. I've met her in person. She's probably going to come down again in in January. You know, I believe it's a placebo. I mean, I look at them and, you know, I think it's a placebo. She believes in them. I'm not certain. She also believes in tarot cards. You know, tarot cards, you pick one and they are extremely optimistic. Every single one. So, yeah, I don't know about tarot cards. But, you know, nobody survives. You know, we found one other person who survived disabling tardive dyskinesia without adjunct. So I didn't take any medications to resolve it, and we don't know why. So we need a medical case study. We finally found one other person on TikTok who did. Same also, you believe it's a placebo. That's good for, you met her in person. I can't imagine having a doctor you don't see in person. You know, I mean, she came to my house to work with me. Not like meeting up with people. She came to my house, and she's going to come down from New Hampshire, you know, to work with me in person as well. You know, hands-on type of stuff, you know, like to help me breathe and hum and do things like that. We might, you know, even do facials and stuff like that. She was going to come when my daughter is here, but, you know, I think it's better when she's not here, especially because she often uses incense and things like that my daughter gets rather pissed about. And you're going to respect that in my tween. She's a deep prescriber. She's a holistic psychiatrist who does not believe in medications. She deprescribes. She gets people off medications, and she would never start people on medications. You know, she did her residency in psychiatry, but she left because she realized that, you know, psych meds were hurting people more than they were helping people. I know, it's really cool. She's fabulous. You know, there are so many alternatives for mental health to psych meds. You know, first line of defense, talk therapy. Second, you know, dance, movement, singing, exercise, mindfulness. I'm working on mindfulness right now. So, you know, keep my mind in place. And not have it wander to different places. Because, you know, I was catastrophizing over the future. And I don't do that anymore. You still feel like what you do helps you through? Would never want to go off Adamant. It helps you sleep. You're a professional ice skater. That's cool. I mean, if it helps you, then I'm great. You know, I can ice skate. I used to figure skate. I started being able to figure skate again when I got over tardive. You know, I can still do back crossovers and front crossovers. You know, I'm not that great, but, you know, I can still figure skate. And my daughter and I like to figure skate. I'm hoping to be back on the figure skating floor soon. I'm nowhere near professional at skating, but I enjoy it. You know, we roller skate as well. We are very close, and, you know, I have feared that being away from her for this long would destroy that closeness. And, you know, as a good mother, you know, going away has hurt bloody bad, but I am not medically safe to finish my taper at home. And the only other option left to me was detox, and that would be my worst nightmare on the planet, and I would pay any amount to stay out of detox. Detox would be absolutely horrendous for me. So, you know, I am lucky as anything not to be in detox. You know, psychiatric hospitals are absolute nightmares to me and not therapeutic. Your kid is 16 now, so you hardly see her. She loves her car, but it's so great to see them grow. Yeah, you know, tween girls are a little bit, you know, there's I'm going to be embarrassed by being seen with you for ice cream in the middle of, in the street, in the main town. And you gotta respect that in a tween when she tells you no, she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want to be, want you to go to the main street of of your town for ice cream. You know, we go 5 minutes away to get ice cream together because I don't want to destroy that closeness. That stage will end. You're here by 22. We are still best friends. We still know when she's at home. You know, we do a lot together. She's flying up here for Christmas. We do both Hanukkah and Christmas, you know, with no religious circumstances, with no religion. I'm searching for religion, you know, hoping to find it somewhere, because I don't have any spiritual beliefs, and I would like to have spiritual beliefs. I have my pink Christmas tree here, because we're gonna, you know, I bought her presents, and we're strategizing as what to do near Arlington for that week. I think we're going to go see Avatar, do things like that. Yeah, we celebrate both. You know, I'm half Jewish. Well, I'm technically Jewish because it's my mother's side. We've always celebrated Christmas as well. So we celebrate Passover somewhat. She celebrates Easter with her father. No, we don't do much. We don't do anything religious, but we do a lot together. We paint walls. We did our Fun in the Sun photo shoot last weekend, and you know, I did a reel that went to high numbers with me in a bathing suit in the snow, and I'm like, no, that I'm not doing that for high numbers. You know, I'm not going to compromise my platform by wearing a bathing suit in the snow. You know, that's, you know, I'm not going to play stunts for big numbers. But no, I mean, I post 3 times a day. You know, I'm having blasted fun with this. You know, I put boundaries on, you know, when I answer comments and whether I go on other people's pages, because, you know, you don't want social media to take over your life. But I never in my life thought I'd be posting public on 6 platforms. I mean, Threads doesn't really matter, and I don't go on X. I'm going to do a live soon on LinkedIn, which is very different from the other platforms. But yeah, no, I love doing live because, you know, I'm like, don't take me off social media, whatever you do. And, you know, maybe some of my reels are cheesy. When you post 3 times a day, they get cheesy. It is awesome for us both. You know, we are super close, but you know, you got to fear when you leave your child for this long that you're going to lose that closeness. But no, we are extremely close. It's something good to do a social media detox too. Yeah, it is. I mean, I place firm boundaries on it. You know, I make 3 reels in the morning that are scheduled throughout the day. But I now spend like 10 minutes making reels, and I spend, you know, half an hour answering comments, and then I do, you know, lives, you know, depending on the week, you know, 2 lives, 3 lives, it depends what my schedule is like. But, you know, making reels takes me very little time, and I have not yet been at a loss for ideas for reels. So, you know, I now am able to have 2 hours of no screen time before bedtime, and I last night succeeded in having 2 hours of not having 2 hours of screen time after bedtime, after I woke up. But I only slept just over 2 hours last night with no REM sleep. But, you know, somehow I functioned really well for lives because I relaxed and screamed for a while, screamed my head off, and it was very, very effective. But yeah, no, I mean, it is, you know, and, you know, social media doesn't, you know, if I need to take days off, you know, I was sick, you know, I didn't do it for a day. And you're right, it does, you know, sometimes you need to take some time off from social media. But for me, it is aligning perfectly right now, because I have a journey, and, you know, I want to tell the tale. I wanted to tell the tale of withdrawal and what's happening to me, to warn other people, because yeah, there's going to be a charity. I will likely never practice as an attorney again. The negative energy I don't like. Many people change their occupations after withdrawal because it's profoundly life altering. Many people suffer for years and years and years and protracted. And people go to akathisia, which I've never had. It's inner restlessness. There's a lot of stuff that goes down that I've had no clue about. You just become hypersensitive to everything, and you're destabilized because you've been dependent on medications for so many years. That's so hard to get off of. So, do you have a permanent jaw injury? Your TD, so what, on one side, it comes, right. So the issue with my speech, I never knew until I went on socials that there was any issue with my speech. So apparently I have TMJ. I know I have TMJ issues. I'm told that, tapping. I clenched my jaw for a while, so my teeth moved during my divorce. And I was going to have Invisalign, and I may have Invisalign again at some point when I'm done my taper, but no, it was really expensive. So at that point, in May when I was approved for it, I said, oh my God, this is too expensive, so I'm not going to use it. But I know now I have to more carefully place my tongue when I talk on social media, but it's not like I'm not understandable. But apparently if you go like this, if you do lots of tapping, it helps it. But there's so many suggestions that have been shot my way that, no, it's tough to know what is what. Shouldn't affect, so TMJ does affect my speech because it has moved my jaw and moved my teeth.